The late May 2024, a powerful image flooded social media. By the midnight of May 30, it was shared by 50 million people. News giants like BBC and CNN covered the trend, suggesting it could be the collective voice around the globe needed to end the suffering. And for a moment, it seemed like people were finally paying attention. The All Eyes on Rafah movement exploded across the internet, followed by All Eyes on Congo and All Eyes on Papua. But by mid-June, the drive was gone. It faded from public consciousness. When the AI-generated image was at its peak, the death toll in Israel-Hamas war was around 35,000. 3 months later, the reported death toll climbed to 41,000, with 31% of them being children. The war is still on. The world is still burning. But if you open your Instagram now, the terror is to be seen nowhere. Instead, tribal trends like "give me your money" dominates the platform. This is a classic example of what's known as performative activism. It is a form of activism which is driven by the desire to increase one's social capital rather than by genuine devotion to the cause. This word reached the public eyes during the Blackout Tuesday movement after the brutal killing of George Floyd, where millions posted black squares on Instagram. Although the purpose wasn't ill-intended, the post over a period of time amounted to nothing. A thread post was made on June 2nd, 2024, where a user mentions the Blackout movement, and the post has received very little traction. This right here is the major hole in the social media architect. As Sophie states,
the internet is bombarding us with so much content of varying degrees of legitimacy that we're struggling to process the information in the same way as before.
This statement here directly links to a core flaw of performative activism. While the shelf-life of any content on the internet is indefinite, humans' attention to it is not. As users scroll through the overflow of topics without the time to process or act meaningfully on them, they lose the touch of reality. Instead of tracing the depth of suffering, social media inversely affects the masses to disengage with the suffering that is actually happening in the real world. Human brain is a complex system, and the overload of being exposed to such looping trends dulls our sensitivity to the haunting pictures like All Eyes on Rafah as merely another form of content. Deeply painful messages are sandwiched between memes, jokes, challenges, and other trivial content, which gets stripped of its depth and urgency and loses its weight. Groupthink is a term coined by Irving Janis in 1982, which perfectly describes this shallow engagement. It refers to people conforming to a majority view without critical analysis, leading to a rapid decline in genuine concern. This causes a chain of reaction that over a certain period of time gets overshadowed by another trend and gets pushed into oblivion. The problem is it creates a performative culture which prioritizes visibility over impact. Saying all this, social media is still a powerful tool for spreading awareness and making unheard voices heard. But we need to think beyond the viral trend and movements. Let's commit to understanding the root cause of these issues and take actions with sustained advocacy and commitment that leaves a larger impact than just stories on social media, because a real change requires more than 24 hours. At the end, I'm leaving you with a recreation of an actual conversation that I had with one of my friends who shared All Eyes on Rafah post, which prompted me to make this video. I see you have posted All Eyes on Rafah post on your story. Do you really think it's going to impact anything?
It surely will. It's being shared by millions of people.
Yeah, definitely. The number of voices being raised is quite powerful. But do you know what All Eyes on Rafah is actually referring to?
Isn't it something that's happening in Pakistan?